Recognizing the real possibility of war, Vice President Kamala Harris concluded a trip to allies in the region with a nudge to strengthen the resilience of the West in encountering Moscow with severe sanctions, as increasingly dire signs imply Russia's Vladimir Putin intends to order an incursion of Ukraine. In a surge of regional cooperation at the annual Munich Security Conference, Harris attempted to persuade American partners that fast-growing concerns on the Ukraine-Russian border posed a direct threat to European security and that economic sanctions should be imposed if the Kremlin invaded its neighbor. We are talking about the potential for war in Europe. I mean, let's really take a moment to understand the significance of what we're talking about. Well, not me, that's what Harris told reporters. And speaking of peace and security, well, we'll get back to that later. Hold on. She admitted that the world is going through the most dangerous period since the Second World War and said, it's been over 70 years and through these 70 years, there has been peace and security. We're talking about a real possibility of war in Europe. Well, really? Peace and security? Palestine, Afghanistan, Syria, Yemen. Wow. The list is long. Anywho, Harris informed international leaders that the world was at a defining and decisive point throughout a number of orchestrated meetings and a keynote presentation at the Security Summit. She engaged with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen, and NATO Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg, and leaders of the three Baltic states, German Chancellor Olaf Scholz, and Greek Prime Minister Kyriakos Mitsotakis. Baltic politicians requested Harris to expand US force numbers, fearing that their nation may be the next ones targeted by Russia. Lithuania's president, for example, asked the United States, which has lately increased its military presence in the Baltics, to go even further and establish a permanent presence, well, I don't know what that means, in Lithuania. And today, the United States relocates a small force of soldiers to the nation. And Estonia's Prime Minister also reiterated the appeal. Well, Harris made no guarantees. Come on. But she projected in her speech at the event that if Russia invades Ukraine, the US would further fortify NATO allies on the eastern borders. Biden dispatched Harris to Germany with a strong direction to emphasize his alarm about a Russian intervention and to state clearly to European allies that they have to be prepared to inflict the worst repercussion Moscow has ever seen. Wow, has ever seen? According to Harris, an incursion would almost certainly have consequences for Americans as well. Meanwhile, Biden spoke with his national security staff to review the emerging events. Harris took part on her way back from Germany. Harris and her colleagues updated them on her interactions at the conference before departing Munich. Biden is also set to conduct a digital conference with G7 figureheads on Thursday to address Ukraine, and Secretary of State Antony Blinken is to appear in Europe this week with Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov, meetings that US warns would be cancelled if Moscow invades. I'm sick and tired of this narrative, honestly. On Sunday, bombardment intensified in and around areas held by Russia-backed rebels as rebels relocated hundreds of women and children, and Putin supervised nuclear-capable missile tests. Putin has accumulated a force of more than 150,000 Russian troops on the border. Well, we'd like to know your thoughts and responses. Share them in the comments down below, and also share this news and support us through subscribing to our channel. Stay tuned for the real stuff on next News Hour.